For the second pregnancy, I would absolutely do it again and better. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Genuinely, aka Leah, aka Jaliy, and this is part 3 to my hidden pregnancy explanation story time. So if you haven't already, make sure you go back and watch part 1 and 2 so that you aren't confused. Alright, so just a little recap to refresh you from part 2. Part 2, we talked about how I found out I was pregnant at 4.5 months and the reactions of the family when we told them. Okay, now you're all caught up, so let's get into it. Hiding the bump. Honestly, hiding the bump was pretty easy to do while I was on campus. And simply because of the fact that when I was pregnant and like early on, like before I would say 7 months, I wasn't really showing like crazy, like I was showing, but it wasn't like to the point where you can see it if I was wearing baggier clothes, which I did the majority of the time I was on campus. Because of the fact that my symptoms was literally, my symptoms were my period was missing, which I attributed to being stressed. Then it was my breathing and heart rate had increased, which I didn't really think about it until after the fact that I found out I was pregnant, but I did notice it before that. I just, didn't think too much of it. And then the pudginess of my stomach, which I attributed to stress weight gain. Literally the only physical changes that I really experienced. Sidebar, every pregnancy is different and everyone has different experiences. Personally, I didn't really have that many body changes. Like my face didn't get any bigger. My nose didn't get any wider. My body didn't change much aside from my stomach, but I didn't have swollen feet, anything like that. It was literally just my stomach that changed. So for me, for that reason, it was easier to hide. So I did just wear oversized clothes, which I already had, so I didn't have to buy any maternity clothes, which is pretty good. So yeah, I just really wore oversized clothes while I was on campus. And I said before, I didn't really go out that much because of COVID and everything, not trying to get sick, so that didn't change, and it just made it even less noticeable because I didn't have to reduce the amount I was going out because I was barely going out. It wasn't like any drastic changes that was really noticeable to people, so that made it easy. With me wearing baggy clothes and stuff, it really didn't look like I was pregnant. I'll show pictures and stuff, but it didn't look like I was pregnant unless I had my shirt raised or anything, because really you couldn't see the shape of me. You could see the shape of me, but you didn't see my stomach or midsection area very clearly. So, but I will say as the months went on, it did make it a little bit more difficult to conceal it because of the fact that my clothes would fall on me a little differently, and I didn't want that to be, red flag, she's pregnant. So I just made sure to wear jackets and stuff, even though it was starting to get a little warm, but it was still cool enough on and off with the weather to not really raise any flags for anybody. The people who knew I was pregnant did tell me that I looked rather small. As the time went on, I was like maybe 5.5 months, and I was still looking like I didn't like pop. Like I wasn't all that big, so it wasn't super noticeable to me, at least. I think the way that my pregnancy was set up and the way the school year was set up, it worked really well for hiding the pregnancy because I didn't really start showing like through my clothes until I had gotten home. And the only time on campus that it became a little bit noticeable was at the very end, during the time where we were bringing in my sorority, we were bringing in new members and stuff, and we had a photo shoot / video shoot for them. And in one of my dresses that I was wearing, I did really look pregnant. If you ask me, like I'll show you the picture I took, but like on the side, from the side, you can tell that it was a little bump there, but it wasn't nothing crazy, but you could tell if you knew, I guess. It's funny because I looked really pregnant there, if you ask me. And like a week later, it was a MPAC / Panhellenic Council. So all the Greek organizations had our annual photo shoot. And in those pictures that I took, I did not look pregnant at all. That is thanks to high-waisted jeans and a very, very quality shapewear product. So literally, that's the only reason that those pictures came out the way they did. My goal throughout the whole photo shoots throughout those 2 weeks was to make it look like I wasn't pregnant, because those are the only times that I was really being photographed. So I feel like I really accomplished that. So, but let me know in the comments, did you think I succeeded or not? Because let me know. So 2 weeks after that photo shoot and stuff with our NPHC, Panhellenic, Greek life councils, we were all moving off campus. Everyone who lived on campus was moving off campus because it was the end of the semester. So I was going back home. And after I went back home, I had my photo shoot for my reveal / my pregnancy reveal / gender reveal. And from there, posting the pictures like a couple weeks after that, and everybody being shocked and blown away because they didn't know, they had no idea, da da da. A common question I get is, though, why hide it? Why did I hide it anyway? I was not wanting people to be in my business. Being that I had so many roles to play on campus, it was kind of important that nobody do, because it's like that would probably affect the way people were looking at me on campus too. As an RA, they taught us that in training, they taught us that we would be looked at as being in a fishbowl, which basically meant that whatever role you're in, you're going to be looked at as being in that role, even outside of your building or wherever you're living and working at. For example, if you have a teacher that you see at the grocery store or anywhere else outside of school, it's like, oh, okay, that same type of feeling. So for that reason, I didn't want to be the talk of campus. Like, isn't that pregnant RA? Yo, RA pregnant? That's crazy. No, I didn't want any of that. So for that reason, I was trying to limit my interactions with people as much as I could. To my 7th floor babies, so much love to you all. I wasn't trying to ignore you, so don't try to square up with me. It was just I was trying to figure out how I was gonna make this money by tomorrow. Also, as a person heavily involved in Greek life, it's very easy, like stuff gets around very quickly on campus, especially since my campus was pretty small. So I didn't want for that to affect how people would look at me and how people would like go about interacting with me. And I didn't want that to make people think I wasn't going to be able to get the stuff done that I would always get done, to the degree and to the quality that I would get it done at. Just to avoid all of that type of stuff, because my pregnancy literally did not affect the way in which I went about trying to handle my business as far as my roles went. Like, I met my deadlines for everything and everything like that. It was just, trying to withdraw as much as I could so that, it wasn't too noticeable that I was getting bigger. But yeah. Just to clarify, I did tell people who needed to know on campus, like my area coordinator or AC for my residential life position, because she was, for one, she had her son at the beginning of the school year, and I wasn't going to be able to take my position for the following year or the upcoming year because I wasn't going to be on campus. And also, it was just really good to have her be able to look out for me too. So Shout out to you, Steph. Some of my professors I told so that I would be able to attend their classes virtually whenever I had to go home for a doctor's appointment or something. It wasn't gonna conflict with my my attendance or anything. So, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty glad that I kept my pregnancy to myself while I was on campus, because of the fact that I don't really like attention like that, like not from people that I don't know. Like, it's one thing to, you know, have your friends' attention or people that you care about attention. That's one thing. But all these strangers and people that you don't really talk to or have a relationship with, I don't want to be a topic of conversation type of thing. So that was why I was like, no thanks, because I would hate to walk into the dining hall and it'd be a group of people just looking at me like, oh, that's the girl that's pregnant. That's the girl, yeah, that's her. I don't want that at all. So I'm very happy that I was able to keep it as long as I did. And to be honest, I probably would have kept it longer had I not planned on or wanted to have a baby shower, because I did want to celebrate and have people around me that I love, that love me and care for me in the same way that I do them. So I guess I couldn't keep it a secret forever for that reason, but I would have been fine not saying anything and just popping up with a, oh, my son is born post, but it's okay. For the second pregnancy, I would absolutely do it again and better. So all in all, I'm making this storytime series not only for the betterment and the hope that it'll reach someone to let them know that they're not alone and that they're able to do anything that they put their minds to and that they trust God with, but also to speak directly to my son, Hendrix. I wrote something for you. Even before I knew you were with me, you were protected. Even when I thought I wasn't ready to be your mommy, God allowed me to experience what I thought was a miscarriage to protect you even further. I wrote this in my journal to remind myself when I worry for your safety and well-being. If God kept him safe and protected in your womb, what makes you think he won't do the same all the days of his life? Trust in God. He will keep Hendrix safe, protected, and hidden from all the things that come to destroy him, just as he did while he resided in your womb. On that note, I'm going to end the video here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you know the next time I post. Comment down below some questions you may have for me regarding this Storytime series or anything else, and whatever possible content you may want to see from me. With that said, remember, he loves you, I love you, and genuinely be blessed.